And Great Britain to come out in this very vital test indeed. They've got a changed side from the one of the first match in which they played. Roger Millward, the captain. Roger Millward, captain, and no doubt he's feeling this is a big moment, and there's a big man, big Jim Mills, Welshman, and this is the man that the Australians do indeed wonder what's going to happen, because it's not a young front three, Mills, Fisher and Lockwood. The Australian pundits and the writers here have been calling them the Dad's Army, but I wouldn't say that at all. The Australians coming out, led by Frank Stanton, Bobby Fulton, Steve Rogers, and the very strong side out. Graham Eddy, who is just so much for the team in every way. Scored 3 tries and scored them at a vital point. Australia loosening up. They're the holders of the mythical Ashes, and the two managers, Peter Moore, Frank Stanton, big crowd at this Oxford Stadium. You remember, of course, that there was 102,000 here at one match in a replayed Rugby League Challenge Cup final, and the two managers, Mr. Coldwell, Frank Stanton, and the Australian side with Roy Price, the subs, and Ray Price. Now, Jeff Gerard, Graham Olling, Tommy Redonicus, and incidentally the Lord Mayor of Bradford, Councillor A.F. Trigg, presenting them, and Mr. Peter Falkenberg, Agent General for New South Wales, also in it, David Oxley of the Rugby League, and Mr. Hale, Managing Director of the sponsors Forward Chemicals. Well, that's, of course, the English team, or I should say the British team, with Peter Fox, Roger Millward, George Fairbairn, Stuart Wright, Les Dale and John Atkinson, Stevie Nash, and the big Jim Mills I've been talking about, Tony Fisher, experienced player, Brian Lockwood, very experienced player, Phil Lowe, and loose forward is, of course, Steve Norton, with subs Holmes and Rose and Mick Norton, the referees, and Mr. Reed and Mr. Sykes, the test judges. Quite a big crowd still waiting to queue in. Tommy Redonicus, who is a very, very lively scrum half, was indeed one of the stars on the first test. Mick Cronin, also a very good footballer, 26 goals and 2 tries. And number 2, Kerry Bowstead. You remember Kerry Bowstead scoring that try that we were doing, and Steve Rogers. And there's the Great Britain side. Alex Murphy with me. Do you think the changes are very good changes or ordinary changes or what?
Yes, I think there's going to be a lot of improvement today. Les Dill is a big improvement, and Big Jim will put the matter straight. I think we've got a very good pack, and I hope we just start throwing the ball about.
Well, there's certainly a lot of experience in that forward line there on the right. Mills, Fisher, Lockwood, very experienced. Nichols and Lowe, equally experienced. So that's a very important. The question is whether they'll last the pace. The Australian team, Eadie, full-back, Boosted, Rogers, Cronin, Anderson, Fulton and Radonicus, and forwards Olling, Krilich, Young, Gerrard, Reddy and Price. Your ideas of this team, Alex?
Well, I think this is going to be a very, very doer game. I think Great Britain will throw the ball about, and Australia will just be happy to wait for mistakes, Eddie.
And change over. Bobby Fulton, very, very keen to win this match, particularly because then, as he said, well, for the rest of the tour, they can relax to the point of wanting to make it, of course, a complete dry scrub. Well, I doubt if that would happen, but you never know. It's Great Britain on the left, Mick Norton in charge, and the first 10 minutes will be a stretching out, and no doubt deciding if and where the strength and the skills are likely to develop. Graham Eadie taking the first ball, and the players running up. Well, I would have thought it might have been offside, but the referee said no. They were within the distance, but nevertheless, it's an advantage to Australia getting the ball quickly. Gerrard, Krilich, Craig Young, big crowd of Australian followers come over with various tour operators. A nice one to Eadie, and Eadie does strong. And it was free off. And Eadie's still going. He's the man that Great Britain have got to fear. Graham Eadie strong. The position is right from that first kick, and there could be on the sixth tackle Ray Price very close. So this offside and a penalty to Australia. George Nichols offside. John Atkinson in the back. Very good start with that run.
This was very, very good tactics on Australians' part. Put the ball way up the field and then stood men offside, and George Furman fumbled the ball, and this is the start Great Britain didn't want it.
1 minute gone in this second test. This is the 28th test series. In the first test of this series, Great Britain 9, Australia 15, 6-6 at half-time. Mick Cronin kicking, 26 goals, 2 tries. Looks down, pensive and particular, and very close to a 2 points, which is what they want, and it's a goal. 2 points to nil. That was, of course, a good start indeed by the Australians, with tactics, of course, pushing the ball into the Great Britain half. Tactics, do you reckon the sort of tactics they'll use?
Well, I think these are good tactics, and I think Mick Cronin will be very happy to see that ball go, and he's normally a very good goal kicker.
Anderson, Chris Anderson, of course, experience of English league football. And this is the tactics they're going to play in the British half. That's going to be their tactics. Whether all the time remains to be seen. John Atkinson touching the ball for the first time. They're so strong in the tackling department, the Australians, that they obviously feel they can hold anything that Britain's got to push into them. And George Fairbairn kick in. George Fairburn, who of course is from Wigan. He kicked 32 goals this season, scored 4 tries. Of course, comes from Scotland, where we had a lot of good rugby league players, just as there are Welshmen, and there's one of the Welshmen, Tony Fisher, and he's got Jim Mills with him. Steve Norton. The first time Jim Mills has touched the ball. 25 yards line. 2 points to nil for the Australian. Big George Nichols, typical George Nichols, and somebody out. Brian Lockwood, number 10. Injured. I didn't see what happened then. I followed the play. Did you see anything, Alex?
Yes, there's a little bit of incidence off the ball here, and I think Bobby Fulton will be very lucky to stay on this field.
Well, let's have a look at that. Look at the man in possession on the 25 yards line, George Nichols, and there he went down, but being attended to. But these are the sort of tactics, obviously, the Australians in the first quarter of an hour are going to go hard.
Australia look as though they're going to play in our half, and they think they can hold us there, and we can't score from any length of the field. If we keep playing football, I think Great Britain are going to be in this game at the end.
So, Brian Lockwood, who played in Australia, he knows the Australian methods and what have you, and George Fairburn, with 5 minutes gone, there's a chance of equalising the score. That's right, and we've got number 13, there he is in the middle, by the post, looking the wrong way, ready to catch him. He's in on the, just at the bottom of your screen, and there he is looking for it. See the taxi, but the kicker now taking it, being George Fairburn. Looks up, should equalise the score. And the flags are up. 2-2. Well, it's put a little different complexion on it.
Well, that's what Great Britain wanted, to reply with a quick reply. And I think that this game is going to boil down into one great game of football.
Bobby Fulton very, very keen to win this match, and so have a fairly good time for the rest of the tour. The third test will be at Headingley, and if it is a decider, then it will be a full house, and be nearly a full house here, not quite, but certainly a big crowd. Tony Fisher. George Nichols. And the referee having a word with kneeling on. Trying to cut that out, he says straight away. A lot of atmosphere about this match. George Fairburn. Well, this is the incident that happened. The tackle came, and down he goes, and there was somebody coming on top of it. Craig Young. Been prepared to put the ball about. They're watching to get the ball out and give Jim Mills some work, but the Australians line up on Mills. They know his strength. I was going to say we haven't seen much of the half-back, but little Stephen Nassir got in a good pass then. A lot of Australian followers here. Might have about 3,000, which says a lot for enthusiasm. Quite a lot of ex-players brought parties. In the whites, Great Britain 2-2. Goal each. Half time in the last test, it was 3 goals each, 6-6. Will there be anything break with A very good burst by Stevie Norton on the 6th tackle. Norton going back, settling down now. And the possession now is going to be very important, Ali.
Yes, this is a very important place. It'll do a Great Britain a lot of good if we can just heal this one. It's right where we need it, and these are where you need scrums.
8 minutes gone on the penalty. And these... George Fairbairn will be coming up, and of course just to remind you that there are international rules and there are a number of differences. Bobby Fulton is talking, I don't know what he's saying, but there are international rules, which means that he can take a shot at goal. The score is 2-2 and the penalty is 4-1 for Great Britain at this stage, and 9 minutes gone. Number 1 is George Fairbairn. Fairbairn kicking and behind the post. It looks right dead in the middle for the shot. Big crowd at the ruling end. And George Fairbairn to kick. You'll see it as soon as it happens. 2-2 at the moment. And yes, it couldn't be more so in the middle. 4 points to 2. Alex?
Well, I think that was a very bad penalty for Australia. I think Tommy Donicus will not be too happy about that. And as far as Great Britain is concerned, it's just the start we need. We're playing a lot of good football and playing rugby, and we're not getting involved.
Well, Tommy Raudonikis, who had a little bit of a tussle with, of course, our Stevie Nash, and they both had the early bath together in the last test. But I think they won't get into that sort of a squabble in this match. There's a sense about the Great Britain side which augurs well for them, but it might be a matter of time because the Aussies are super fit. Let's deal back to the scene, and John Atkinson waiting on the wing with Lowe in the inside him. Graham Olling, halfway line. Slide in one, back. Jeff Gerard had experience in English League football. Raudonikis going to go on his own, or try to. Good tackle by Tony Fisher. Sort of seesaw tackle, as it were. Coming on the short side. Nice long one. Not a knock on. Chris Anderson. Going to have an up and under, as Fulton calls it, a bomb. It's a troublesome one, but it's brilliantly taken by Fairbairn. Bobby Fulton, the man who pushes these up and unders up very high, and will do it as often as he thinks he can break down a stubborn defence. George Nichols. You have to have a lot of guts at that moment when there's about 8 Kangaroos descending on the top of it.
Well, I think that was a little bit uncalled for, and I think it was very, very hard to come in. Mick Norton will stand none of this nonsense.
Well, Ray Price was in first of all. Stevie Nash comes, Ray Price, and the referee was very quickly on the top of that.
Well, I think he was... everybody in the Rugby League must have saw that one. He brought it up from Australia already, and I don't think Mick Norton will miss many of those.
George Fairbairn. Just to get you in the picture, 4 points to 2. 4 points to 2, 13 minutes gone, and no indication that one side is going to monopolise completely as yet, but the thing I keep saying, the last 20 minutes will possibly be the ultimate decider. 2 goals to Fairburn, 1 to Cronin. Steve Norton. Nice pass. Ball. It was unfortunate. The lost ball there. John Joyner. Redonicus, the scrum half. Craig Young. Mick Cronin. Craig Young. Just inside the Great Britain half. Still the same strong tactics by Australia. Each individual player wanting to have a go and burst down the middle. And knock on, so it should be advantage. Play on, it should be advantage to Great Britain. Pillow likes to get a running start before he gets full speed up. Steve Nash, dummy half. Steve Norton. The short side, Big Jim, not having a lot of chance to get into stride. I think they're well aware of his potential in that department, because he too has played in Australia, so has Lockwood, so has a number of these players. Boy was well passed, but nearly in trouble, well supported by Stevie Nash. The football to John Atkinson almost for the Australian ball. Chance there for Britain, and the way out on the wing, still moving, Ray Price, and at that moment Australia coming back a little strong.
Well, that was a good move by Australia. They picked a loose ball up and took it way up the field, and lots of good backing up, and this game is certainly seesawing one way and another.
Quarterman now gone, 4 points to 2. Roger going to be sandwiched, and indeed was sandwiched. Below. Great Britain losing possession a little too often to be too happy about it. Chris Anderson behind the man playing the ball. Still a situation where they're both trying each other out for the strength and for their capacity for work. Hooker Krullich, very lively player. Oh, nice dummy by Fulton. Half a dummy turn round and went. And still Grenham and the players being called to help their colleagues. Holling. Somebody's got to go in for an interception and a killing tackle, and it only just came off. There was danger there.
That was a very good tackle by George Nichols, and he came in very hard. He saw the situation and put the man down without any to do.
Well, Australia have not yet taken the scrum, but we don't count penalty scrums, of course. Really, one each. Referee said, nope, I don't want that. 17 minutes gone in this second test. Great Britain and Australia, also Stadium, and getting the ball that time. And still willing to throw it around. The only way to get up quickly, because these middlemen can really get up quickly and go. Gary Bowstead, remember that try in the first test? The killer. Australia in possession and in position. Very lively at the moment. A margin of 2 points, 4-2. Full turn. Up comes Eadie, the full-back, who's a troublesome fella. He's hard to stop. Call him Wombat from Woi Woi, but he's a good full-back, and a penalty. They're going to be using their full-back, I reckon, Alec Eadie.
Well, this Graham Eadie, he's a big boy, and as you see, he takes some stopping, and the Great Britain lads have not to allow him to run up in the attacks. They've got to go up and meet him and knock him down.
going to take the second kick and use, no doubt, a set-piece move, which they've got a lot of moves rehearsed. They have various names for them. And they're going to go, this looks a sort of back toward them, and then who's going to get it? Edie. They use Edie on that specialized move. Didn't come up, but the position is still there for them. And not very far short yet, Gerard. Big, strong Rod ready. And Britain in trouble, position-wise. And a penalty. A penalty. Roger Millward. So, Alex, did you see what happened there at that point of the penalty?
Yes, I think it was just one of Stevie went in, and I think he caught him on the head, and it's nothing. He'll get over it pretty quickly. He's a pretty tough little fella, this fella.
Well, they wouldn't let him get up, wouldn't play the ball, and then knock the ball out of his hand. And of course, the run ready, and the kicker is McCronan, number 4. A big crowd at the Australian, and good, well, an easy goal, but a good goal. We've got a big kick, 4-4. And that was after a long spell of Australian attacking. But there's one thing about it, they will be taking a bit of physical activity out of them. They go right to the end of the game. Well, the Australian crowd, they've come from all over Australia, New South Wales and Queensland, and a very happy lot indeed at the moment, with one in the bag. With 20 minutes gone, Great Britain 4, Australia 4. Edie pushing the ball up. You see the tactics are so apparent. There's 3 or 4 people waiting for the reception committee, and he can't run very far, whoever it is. And there's the man, Edie, who can do it, Graham Edie. John Atkinson. ...25-yard line. George Nichols. The last 10 minutes or so have been with Australia so far as position and aggressiveness is concerned. Brian Lockwood. A lot of experience, but of course Mills, Fisher, Lockwood and Nichols have been in rugby league for quite a while, and the referee calling somebody out. Craig Young on Tony Fisher, but Tony Fisher is up. And he's explaining what he mustn't do with the elbow. There he's coming on to Fisher. And there's Graham. Number 10 is Craig Young. Well, the position here is better for Great Britain. A 25-yard line. Attacking possession. Fisher's willing to have a go, but he's very dumpty forward up front. Cutting out the big fella. George Nichols. Lockwood, Brian Lockwood to Steve Norton. Les Dill. Standoff off to loose forward to prop forward. And supporting up from Millward. I think maybe, I don't know whether it was accident. The test judges in. So the judges come in for the incident. Lockwood and ready, Alex.
This was a very late incident, said he'll be very lucky to stay on the field. He caught Brian Lockwood off the ball, and he looks as though he's hurt him pretty badly. He certainly deserves more than a ticking off. So the injured player being
injured player being attended to, which is Brian Lockwood, and Reddy, who was the man of the match in that the test match. And there's Lockwood, who is having attention. He's not a man that goes down easily. Ron Barrett is looking after him. Let's have a look at this incident. Now, from behind the ball, the referee, you see, is telling them to stand back, and off he went out. Seems to be all right. Ron Barrett looking at him, and Brian Lockwood is an experienced player, and he'll have his views about it. And that's the man who is the culprit at the moment, Rod Reddy, known as Rod Rocket Reddy. So a chance for George Fairbairn to make it 6-4. Well, from behind the post, that's a pretty good indication of what he's got to do. Just out on one side, hook it in, 4-4 at this point of time. Does his usual breathing in. And the flag it up. 6-4. Ali, do you find any difference in tactics by the Australians to the last test?
Well, the Australian side certainly seem to want to play in the Great Britain side, and they're keeping the ball down the field. And I think this game is seesawing one side to another. I think Great Britain are playing a lot better than they did at Wigan. There's a lot more determination and a lot more running with the ball.
6-4 the score, and curiously was 6-6, all with goals in the last test. Quarter of an hour to go. Stuart Wright touching the ball virtually for the first time. Tony Fisher coming in, and he won't let the ball go. He'll do his opponents, of course. Phil Lowe not had any strong running chances. You usually reckon 2 or 3 tacklers every time when the fellow's being taken. Running very well. Brian Lockwood seemed to have recovered. Big Jim Mills. George Nichols. Referee just bringing them back. Lesdale not seen for the last 4 or 5 minutes, except in tackling, but stays perfectly fit, raring to go. This was one that nearly came off. Lockwood with Norton running on the burst. Just couldn't let it go. Tony Fisher sidesteps like Gareth Edwards. Well, they're both Welshmen anyway. Phil Lowe, 25 yards line, 6 points to 4. A little clever kick, but it's gone to Kerry Bowstead, trying to isolate Bowstead. Steve Norton up. Screwits, and just a little more quietness from the Australians at the moment, but they can be serving that up for position. They really love to get in their opponent's 25-yard area and then isolate them. Going to do that. John Atkinson. Stevie Nash. George Nichols. A nice one to Atkinson. He's got the cover there, but he managed to keep inside. Position is right for some now. Set piece move in the middle. Giving it to Fisher and giving it to Norton now. Very, very good tackle on Norton by Steve Rogers. That was a beauty. Left the ball behind him. Chance to get up. Steve Rogers. That was That was about the best bit of Great Britain for a while.
This is a lot better than Great Britain. It's certainly a different Great Britain from the first test, and they're doing what they do best, throwing the ball about.
12 minutes plus injury time, and the referee calling Brian Lockwood out for some incident. Jim Mills walking towards us, and he said, "I know what you're doing, and better stop that." Brian Lockwood. We'll have a look at the tackle there. Lockwood comes in from behind, goes on top, and the referee had decided there was some reason that he shouldn't have been done, and hence the penalty. Both sides seem to be just levelling themselves now, Alex. Not a lot of individual penetration.
I think so, and I just hope that Great Britain are going to save a little bit, because these Australians are going to come strong in the second half, and I hope we've got a little bit left in reserve.
6 points to 4. Fulton, 11 minutes to go, doing their 1-2-3, and then a very good run. And then Eadie was up there, number 1. That's Ray Price. Still moving the ball about, the Kangaroos, and getting it in nicely and doing it very well. Bobby Fulton. Have to come on to Fulton very quickly. Within the 25-yard line. Gerrard. Ten yards out. The Aussies now putting on pressure, and half a dummy and half a pass, but neither of them coming off. And George Nichols looking up, and Jim Mills looking down, and Mick Cronin keeping the ball. And that awkward up and under. Up it goes, and the referee still offside and gives a penalty to Chatham on Ray Price, so he loses 10 yards for talking. They're not supposed to talk to the referee. Roger Millward.
This is a very, very good kick, this, of Bobby Fulton's. A very intelligent kick, and it could have gone either way. George Fairbairn took a tremendous leap here, and it was very lucky that there was an obstruction here, because this could have been a good try.
It would have been like an Australian rules thing, the way it went up, but it was covered, and the penalty was taken very quickly. So 6 points to 4, and scrums penalties are 8 to 4 at this moment. And Millward back on, never went off really, but been attended to. So there's a certain amount of tenseness, of strength, quite a bit of skill, but there could be more, but no doubt that will come once they can open up with the brilliance of the two halfbacks, for instance, on both sides. I haven't noticed Redonicus and Nash having too much of a conflict. Remember, they both sent off the Wigan test. Oh dear, that was bad play. George Fairbairn lost that. And there's two men unmarked at this side. Weakness in losing possession at the right moment. Bobby Fulton. And, well, it's not all on one side. Tony Fisher in shot there. Brian Lockwood. Who's the referee talking to the test judge. Mr. Reed. Explaining what happened. Anthony Fisher. And a penalty. Let's have a look at the incident again. The ball had been lost actually earlier, possession lost, and then came in on the top, and the touch is already going in, and a chance for Mick Cronin to score 6-4. But remarkably, if it was 6-6 at the half time as it was in the first test. 3 goals, 3 kicks to Fairbairn, to Cronin, 2 successes, chance to make it 3. And the 10 Australians, 100% goal record so far from the touchline. Cronin, Mick Cronin, 22-year-old publican from Gerringong, one of the sensational, taking the time off, both hands up, Mr. Norton said he's wasting time. Played with Parramatta, known as the Eels, 26 goals so far. They all take the time. It's not going to go in, it's going out, in fact. So that was something that the Australians couldn't really celebrate. Channel 7, they couldn't celebrate that. The score is still 6-4, getting close to half-time. Bit of injury time, I don't know what it is. Chris Anderson. Down this middle, a burst, a telling burst. Verdonicus. Somebody's got to be back. Foul taken by 1-1, Edith. And there he is. This fellow is a great footballer. He's really shattering the defenders. Coming on and swiftly, and a long one if he can take it. He hasn't done. It's amazing how Eady can get through with all the fellas on top of him.
He's a big, strong boy, this Graham Eady, and he takes some pulling down. And like I said before, we can't afford to let him run with the ball. He's got to be knocked down and put down.
Got to go down for the ball. Second test. 5 minutes to a half-time. Need the ball. Well, a nice long way for him to go. Les Dill, dummy half. Steve Norton. The Australians in their thick formation. 4 or 5 around the would-be runner. 6 points to 4. All penalties, indicative of the strength of the defences, with 4 minutes plus injury time. Ryan Lockwood. Millward. Kicking far, well taken indeed by Terry Bowstead. Well, he ran into the smallest fella and they really pulled it off one another. Australians on the right, green and gold. Gets a little bit of scrappy play, and we get into the stage where a point before get out, and the referee is penalising Great Britain.
I think that was a little bit hard because Bobby Fulton shouldn't have been in there, and he's interfering with play, and Tony Fisher, quite rightly so, put him out the way. Not the way he should have done, but he shouldn't have been in there, Bobby Fulton.
Bobby Fulton, and just signs indicating now a little bit of aggressiveness, which of course is always there, but a little bit more so, and possibly at half-time will just settle one or two things, one or two people down. It's a long one. Australian 5th penalty. Mick Cronin was kicked 2 out of 3. He would have never scored if he kicked this one. Mick Cronin, who I told you about, what a good footballer he is, takes a long kick. He's getting height, but it looks wide to me. It is wide to them. Johnny Fisher. 2 minutes plus injury time. And a very vital score here now to either team. To go in front to say a try and a go angle would indeed be the point of the referee having penalising the Australians. No penalty. Score here is going to be vital if anybody gets one, Alex.
This is a very, very important part of the game, and George Fairbairn will make sure with this kick the next score could really clinch the game, even though it's so early in the game.
Well, what it does stand out is the fact that neither pack had got supreme methods of putting the other team forward out, because what they've been able to do is do this sort of thing, go forward, but the strength of the defence has been very, very evident. Big Jim Mills, who are ahead of him actually, they've come up very quickly onto him. Norton using George, well, pulling out because he's using Phil Lowe.
You go the weight.
Speciality tactics.
Can we drop it? Just...
A try here would be very useful, of course, to both teams. And we've under a minute plus injury time.
Try something, is it? I haven't done the opposite one yet.
Nice one. Got Roger Millward. He's going to be a thing if he takes it over and gets the ball down. He gets the try. Gets the try and corks the try. Stewart White running through, and a great delight to make the score 9 points to 4. Alec, coming at the right moment.
Well, that's the little man. He's just appeared at the right time. What a vital score. What a beautiful kick this was. Placed to perfection, right on the line. Stuart Wright didn't even have to bend down and to put his hands on it. Brilliant.
Well, Millward had been looking for this particular movement, and he pushed the ball went across, and then here it comes. Roger Millward puts a little chip, and Wright just to go a little bit across. Couple of defenders needed, but Wright got it there and put a remarkable try on the board. The first try making 9 points to 4, and we're into injury time. Just one try, and it must give a lot of heart now to Great Britain. Fairbairn would be a bonus if he was to kick this one.
Doesn't like coming on. Doesn't like coming on.
Fairbairn. Yes, it's a flapper, but it goes up. 11 points to 4, and a little smile from Roger the Dodger Millward. He doesn't often really get into a big grin, but he does come into that now and again, and he did indeed. And half-time, Great Britain 11, Australia 4. And Alec, a vital try at that moment.
Well, we just passed a comment that the next score could be the winner. I know it seems a long time off, but what a try to score. And Roger will be happy about that. He will silence some of his critics, and that's the best way to answer them. What a brilliant kick, and Stuart Wright was a bit worried the ball wasn't going to get there.
Of course, Great Britain sometimes call their in player, but they don't in that sort of language. John Holmes is on for Roger Millward, I hear. So that's a rather interesting. Well, there's John Holmes. We'll just see I don't know whether it's an injury or tactics. We can't.
I think Roger took a knock in the last tackle, and he was limping early on, and they brought John Holmes on to steady the three-quarter line down. I think John will be happy in this game.
Well, one thing about it, it doesn't score, incidentally, 11-4 to Great Britain. A vital try. Got a lot of heart. ...25-yard line, and the move could be useful. Holmes is an experienced player, and Roger, having had one or two knocks in recent weeks, will at least give a lot of impetus and a lot of encouragement. John Holmes touching the ball for the first time, experienced player. It's having his benefit here. I'm doing a show for his benefit, and I'm sure he'll be very glad to have something to show from this match for him. Chris Anderson on the left wing. John Joyner, who started to come in. Jeff Gerrard trying to beat the ball, and the dummy half not ready. Max Grillage. The Australians will start to put on pressure for the Forward Chemicals Trophy. Coming up quickly. And John Atkinson was very good there where he came up. John Atkinson read it as the sixth tackle. And it was a very good movement by John. Alex, the forwards are just about equaling each other out now. There's not a lot of power on one side against another.
No, just looking at the Australian side, they look as though they're ready for taking, and if Great Britain realise this, I think it could be theirs for the taking.
Well, there are enough experienced forwards up front. Mills, Fisher, Lockwood. In fact, altogether experienced. Nicholson Lowe in the second row, and Norton loose forward. And Norton knows, of course, the Australian type of play. He's played in New South Wales and Queensland, the two parts of Australia where they're very strong at rugby league. The Australians, which of course is a lot of difference in ours, they're watching this match in the early hours of the morning, although being Monday morning they'll have to go to work. Not as many as if it's on a Saturday. Jim Mills. Can't get it away, but just signs of strength coming back into the forwards. Holmes, not a bad one. It'll run, it's a good one. The strength of Holmes here, this sort of thing will be a benefit to his side.
This could suit John Holmes down to the ground, and these are the kind of tactics. Great Britain's winning all the ball, and I was a bit surprised when Australia kicked off with these tactics, and I think you'll find that Great Britain will start putting the ball down the field because they're winning the ball 3-1 and enjoying a lot of possession.
25-yard line, Australia ball. A forward pass. Forward pass at Mr. Norton, so scrum down. One thing about it, not a lot of obvious chatter going on. There is a lot, but not to the referee's hearing. Mr. Norton, a very famed official from Widnes. And a penalty. Not tracking, not getting down. Commodore Donicus not retiring. George Fairbairn kicking. George Fairbairn, 32 goals, 4 tries. Successes in 4 kicks he's had. Chance for a 5th one. Australia have lost two games on the tour. On October 11, Warrington beat them 15-12. And on the 25th of October, Widnes 11, Australia 10. But Australia altogether points for 255 against 85, a ratio of 3-1. The kicker, Fairbairn, George Fairbairn, been on form. He has his own particular style. He breathes in, doesn't take a long kick, a little push off from the back foot, and the crowd say yes. The crowd answered that. It was a beautiful goal in weight, went and never veered except in the middle.
Well, that was a brilliant goal by George Fairbairn, and it was very, very welcome for the Great Britain point of view, because this is the time to score just on half-time as you're going off and just as you come back on after half-time. Never in doubt once you're left beat.
On the halfway line, Bobby Fulton and Rhedonicus are talking to the referee and asking what it was all about and why Rhedonicus was penalised for that kick, because that kick is a very, very vital one. They all are, I know, but that one particularly. And all that came, of course, from the John Holmes finding touch, clever touch finding, position kept, maintained, and then the goal coming. Jim Mills, big, strong, controversial. George Nichols, big and strong. And a knock on. Although he was facing the other way around, of course he could have knocked it on Stevie Nash. Stevie not at all pleased with that. Scrap. 4-2 to Great Britain. Oh, well taken quickly. Nicely taken. John Holmes making his presence felt. George Nichols. So the temperature rising in this great big bowl at Oxford Stadium, a ground that once had 104,000 official, 120,000, I reckon. I was here in a Wembley replay, and a big crowd here today. 13 points to 4. Fisher putting in a little crafty kick. Not a bad one, but of course the lively Graham Eady is being hauled into touch, and he's penalised because he wouldn't let him get up to play the ball, and Mr. Norton said, "Stuart Wright, you are wrong." Well, there was no doubt they pulled him into touch. The question was whether the referee had said hold or it was unnecessary. However, it was a penalty taken, and the score 13 points to 4. "25 yards line. Graham Olling. Craig Young. Price, and the judge again, Mr. Reed, and who is he talking to? I think it's Ray, bringing out Jim Mills and Tony Fisher, and now it's Lockwood Stern. Well, this was Steve Rogers going up, and then there was the cover coming in on top, and number 8. These are the sort of things, half-tackle, we're going to expect for the rest of this match, aren't we?
Well, I think this is the time of the game now where all the frills have gone out of it, and Australia have got to get down to playing rugby.
Yeah, indeed. The Australians are something that they don't normally do, and the crowd, of course, cheer anything like that. At least the British part of the crowd do. tenseness is coming in now. The sort of thing I've seen many times on the Sydney cricket ground, and Alex Murphy has seen it. This is the moment now when strength and weaknesses will begin to show, because the Australians have lasted well in all their matches to the end of the 40 minutes of the second half.
Well, this is where the Australians will hope to come back into the game, but they'll have to be doing if they want to do it against this Great Britain side.
Well, a man that can push Phil off, as Graham Eady did, nobody can take anything for granted in this match. Oh, no, it doesn't count. John Holmes knock on, so it doesn't count. 10 minutes gone. Second half, Great Britain 13, Australia 4, just one try by Stuart Wright. John Holmes injured. Ron Barrett attended to him. We have, of course, one other sub that could be used, Paul Rose. The Australians haven't used their two, Alan Thompson and Les Boyd, to get in possession. Tommy Raudonikis coming very much into the game. Eady's coming up all the time, and look how he goes. What a splendid footballer this fella is. Graham Eady retries the scene and setting the pitch up for something. The Australians really putting on pressure, and Britain in trouble, and if he can get it down, being Graham Olling, the Aussies powerful at this moment, trying to dive in. And Ray Price, Eady again, and goal saved. And the cheer is as big as if it was for a try, because the try was saved, which shows the impact that this game is having on people.
Well, that was a very bad performance by Mick Cronin. He could have caught the ball and Australia would have scored, but he did the same thing at Wigan. He flicked the ball on, and Great Britain are very relieved to have the ball back.
Time will tell. Well, this was a let-off. No score other than the 13-4, just one try. And losing the ball, offside, it must be. And just a little bit of feeling, Tony Fisher and Ray Price. And they calling up Ray Price, number 13, and calling up Fisher. Well, a little bit of feeling, and of course, Great Britain had possession at that point too.
Yes, it was a little bit silly that, and it's something Great Britain could have done without. He came in after the ball, and Tony was a little bit lucky then.
Well, this was the incident that caused the Ray Price, Tony Fisher, and number 8 is Graham Olling. Right on the line. Bolton to loose forward. Ray Price. Ray Pricey Price is called by his mates. 13 points to 4. 13 minutes gone, second half in this second test. Australia with one up at the moment. Fulton being taken by Mills. The Australians, the Kangaroos, putting on pressure. Very strong from the other line, Jeff Gerrard, and Great Britain possession. That was very well taken. The green and gold against the red, white and blue. Fisher. Australian sub warming up, the two, Thompson and Boyd, not yet used. Thompson the one likely to come on. George Nichols. The main thing, of course, in these particular moments is to stick with the ball. It's a long one. This is the sort of thing that Stevie Nash and others have got to do, push them into the 25-yard area, just as the Aussies did against Great Britain. Billy Bowsett, only 18 years of age, Tommy Donicus. But I thought of the right sort of tactics, put the ball up here.
It was very relief kick where Great Britain was concerned, and Australia look a little bit disorganised. They don't seem to want to run with the ball, and they're very ragged at the moment.
The referee, Reddy and Jim Mills. Reddy and Jim Mills. Reddy and Jim Mills.
Well, there's a little bit of biting going on here again. Jim look as though he's holding his arm, and there's been one or two complaints on this tour about the Australians biting, and it looks as though Jim's got the same problem again.
Well, there's a lot of tension now in this match, and will be to the end. The referee is saying what has happened and ready to come up, I think. But it's Brian Lockwood is nodding to the bench. But there's Jim Mills. And on comes Peter Rose for Steve Norton. George Levin. Well, just to remind you, of course, there's an international rules we're playing under, so once they've come off, can't go back. There are quite a number of differences, but I have mentioned a few of them, but that is one. And, of course, the scrum offence penalty Fairburn. What has he done? He's kicked 5, and Mick Cronin's coming off, and Alan Thompson's going on. It'd be a belter if he was to kick it. No, there's no noise coming up, so there's no score. If you don't hear the noise coming, then it's pretty obvious that he's missing. But it's his first he's missed, and it's kicked 5. 13 points to 4. Are there signs, in your view, yet of a win for Great Britain?
Well, they're tackling very well, and I think this is a good substitution. Paul Rose could do a lot of damage in this side at the moment, because Australia are certainly not running as strong and tackling as strong as they was in the beginning.
The hard stuff down the middle is the sort of stuff that Tony Fisher likes to play. Are you going to shake hands with him then? Ran well into that, decided not to get involved, and rightly so. And Little Nash is going with the out the winger, John Atkinson. That's all right. Tapped it forward. Very good play by John Police Constable Atkinson, and the crowd are with the Great Britain team. Goes again. Australia are 1 up in the series. A long one to right. Can he go for the corner? He got a lot to beat, but he only got past to the first hurdle. Great cover defenders. Alan Thompson and his keep there. But a little bit of movement now flowing, Alex.
Well, certainly Great Britain certainly want to play this game. They realise that the Australians are not playing as well as they should be, and that was a beautiful ball from John Holmes.
Penalty to Australia. Feet up in the scrum. 13 points to 4. 19 minutes gone, and the Australian bench, Frank Stanton the second, and Mr. Moore the manager, just a little bit of apprehension, because it makes an awful lot of difference to a tour if you go on with 2 under your belt, or it's 1-1 at the moment. Just 1 to Australia, but 20 minutes to go to see the situation. And Peter Fox at the coach, Norton, and Dick Gemmell standing in for Harry Womersley, who's not been very well. This should probably cheer him up quite a bit. Graham one that's attend to it, and he came in with his left shoulder down, and well taken.
Chris Anderson looks as though he said something with the touch-ups here, and Mr. Norton will certainly call him and have a few words with him. It was off the ball. I don't think he's too happy with the tackle, actually, and I don't think Mr. Norton will take any of this nonsense.
Well, a little chat going on. Naturally, the situation so tense and keen. Both sides now having to adopt different tactics. One holding on, they're getting penalised. 13 points to 4. Tommy Redonick is doing it very quick. That's the sort of thing they do, the Australians. They get down to the job and get on with it. Don't mess about. Craig Young. Big crowd here at Oslo Stadium. John Joyner. So it's hard in the middle. Giving penalties away with 20 minutes to go. It's the wrong time really to be doing it.
I think Australia are beginning to think this game's slipping away from them, and they're starting a lot of niddling, and they certainly don't look as fit as what they've been on this tour. They look very sluggish, and I think this game is here for the taking.
Well, the crowd very strong, very much with the British team, apart from about a couple of thousand who, of course, are come over and naturally want to see the Australians make it a 2-0 and out of reach of Britain. But at the moment, 13-4, it's Britain in the strong position with 18 minutes to go. George Nichols. John Holmes, a nice one. Hill, a nice one. Atkins, a nice one. Taking it. In touch. Red Price covers a lot of ground in covering the opposing forwards, with Kerry Bowstead, no doubt a player of the future. And a player now for that matter. Paul Rose, the fresh Paul Rose. Venus jersey. A long one, well taken by John Joyner. Slipped, couldn't get movement for his winger. Australia having to push now a lot onto the defence. They'd have been able to open up and Britain taking the ball and moving it well, and now getting down to set. Move. Wild one, but it had a knock on. John Atkinson, and Les Boyd comes on for Jeff Gerard. So all the subs are being used now on both sides. So no doubt Jeff Gerard, who knows English football well. I don't know the reason, didn't seem injured, but maybe tactics. And what the referee now is getting very quickly onto the job with Graham Eadie taking Paul Rose. Steve Rogers. Just a little out of sync now with the Australians. But they're quite capable, particularly Eadie, who will be brought up, I'm quite sure. Steve Rogers, 13 points to 4. The Australians have got to score twice. Kangaroos, set piece, which they've learned. The referee very quickly onto the job and say, be careful. Oh, I don't think he'll say be careful, but he'll say something equivalent. Les Boyd. plus injury time shows what the Australians are capable of doing. They've still got... Fulton hasn't been quite as prominent and moved in well out into the middle of the field, almost a left centre with Britain in possession. We haven't seen Dill have a long run for a while. Referee saying he was just pushed. Oh well, pass to right. Very good pass from Phil Lowe. Pushes them up. Pass in, but in dead.
Well, certainly Great Britain are now coming into this game. They realise that the Australians are panicking a little bit, and John Holmes has had a mark on this game which Roger wasn't having, and he's moving the ball out to the three quarters, bringing Big Jim in and Paul Rose, and this is having a different effect on this game.
Well, John Holmes, who came on at half-time for Roger Millward, very experienced footballer. The referee is keeping well on the job. He's keeping everything tight, and it is him. It was so tight. I thought he was Dominic Donicus was going to throw the ball at him, but he would have a nice word for him, I'm sure. John Holmes. Seb Paul Rose. 25 yards line. Second test. Noticing that Phil Lowe, who played as well in Australia light, didn't get up, he played the ball. Nice burst there by John Joyner. John Joyner giving a long pass out, and he scored in the corner. Just Stuart Wright. John Joyner made this. Stuart Wright scored it, and there's a moment of joy for them. Stuart Wright, second try, 16 points to 4.
Well, this is a very, very good ball from John Holmes. John Joyner does a tremendous job here. He comes inside two men, and what a lovely ball. He keeps his head and puts a ball out to Stuart Wright, who does very, very well to get in there and go over in the corner and brings it to the sticks. What a good try that was, and very important time for Great Britain. Australia certainly have got a big task now.
Stuart Wright, who was out of the team earlier on because of injury, very, very happy at that, but John Joyner certainly did a very good job. The way that he came back in and then adjusted himself. There he is. He comes off his right foot, goes veering left to the second end, then this lovely throw in, a line out almost, and Wright went as far as he could, and they were encouraging him on. So beautiful try. 16 points to 4, and Fairbairn to kick. And he ran, and the flags are up, and 18 points to 4. We get into the state that would be a bit of a miracle now, but anything can happen in test matches.
Well, this is what rugby league football's all about. Great Britain have got the bit between the teeth, and Australia have certainly got a big task.
Well, one mustn't forget the part played by Fairbairn with 6 goals out of 7 and coming at the right moment when they were needed. Timing and picking, as I call it. And he did a very good job. Jim Mills. Stuart Wright, 6th try in the last 3 games. Had a good match as Little Nashi, and so is Tony Fisher. sense of professionalism now about the Great Britain side in more or less all they're doing. Here's he's got to go down, says Les Boyd on Phil Lowe. Paul Rose has done a lot of hard grafting since he came on. And the Holmes kick will take on like a goalkeeper. Chris Anderson won't go a long way. You can sense a little bit of trouble in the Australian defensive work now with the early tries. There's just 2 tries, but unlike them, a lot of matches when teams fail to score against them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, half a dozen. And only had their line crossed 8 times. Green and gold of Australia. Bobby Fulton. Craig Young. Good way of getting the ball moving, but a lot of good tackling, particularly by Stevie Nash. There's a lot of work. And up and under. There's 4-1. It's a try. Think so. It's a try to Ray Price. Yes, it's a try. Ray Price, and he went up. It was an awkward one. 18 points to 7. Bobby Fulton. Well, this is the one that it came up and it was pushed back. Let's carefully look. There were 3 or 4-1. The ball went loose and Price got it. So the referee was right on the spot. Steve Rogers to kick. The flag's up. The game 18 points now. Let's have a look at this from behind the post. Here it was, it came up. Keep your eye on the man right in the middle of the screen, which is Fairburn. Who got it first? Well, the referee was there, and it is a try on the scoreboard. 18 minutes to 9 and 8 minutes to go.
I think George was a little bit unlucky there. He took the ball clearly and somehow he got off balance. But Mick Norton was quite right. It was a perfectly good try. And
the referee gets up very quickly if he thinks there's trouble, and he knows the men who are likely to cause trouble. Well, not cause it, but enact it. Remedy, not at quite as many individual runs as he had in the first half. Bowstead and Brian Lockwood, who's been voted the man of the match, deserved it. He's taken over as captaincy since Millwood went, and he's done a very good job. He knows their style, but it's the Australians now attacking. Max Grillich and Rodonica, they're putting on a last minute, well, not last minute, they're only about 7 minutes, but John Atkinson across to save that, and it's England now in this last spell. 18 points to 9. Penalty against Great Britain. The kick through. Just watch this. And obstruction, no doubt about it. Referee was right. This is going to put a whole new complexion onto the game. It's going to be then a matter of time, which Steve Rogers to kick. Taking a little time to do it, which they need the time for the Australian. It's a go, 18 points to 11, Alex.
well, is this a sign of a comeback from Australia? They certainly seem to be moving the ball a lot better and running with the ball, backing up a lot better now. But I think if knowing this Great Britain side, certainly they won't let a lead like this slip, and just playing football and tackling, that will just about do.
And Alex, two tries, 18 points to 11, 2 tries for Great Britain and 1 for the Australians. 18-11, 5 minutes. John Holmes. Just a little quietness in the crowd now. They've been very much on top in the situation they were in at the point of well in front at 18-4, but now 18-11. The sub, Les Boyd, needs an awful lot now of concentration by England, Britain. Redonic, full-back, the man who could do so much damage. The Australians really putting on pressure. Great Britain getting the ball, Jim Mills, and that's as good as anything in getting possession. Number 14, Thompson, is out at the moment, but they're dealt with. I don't think the crowd is on the tip, but I don't think so. George Nichols wasn't particularly worried. And the Australians going in 4 minutes plus injury time, 18 points to 11. Short one, turned inside. Craig Young. All the Australians apart from one. Thompson has been making the attack and a good grubber.
The Australians seem to be coming back into the game. Great Britain seems to be tiring a little bit, and I think time will just be about on their side, and rightly so, they deserve to win this game.
Well, Alf Richard is having quite a job with Thompson, and Frankie Stanton is looking at the player who is out at this moment, and it's just coming round. Jim Mills and Australian possession. Australian running very fast. Great Britain not obviously able to get it across as fast with Rodonicus in the middle. 25 yards line. Great Britain 18, Australia 11. Looking for support. Quite a bit of extra time possibly. Moving the ball across to the wing. Going into the corner. Is it going in? Yes, it's going in. Steve Rogers. 18 points to 14. Moving the ball right across the field from the middle, went right across to the wing, and then it had to be scored. Rod already had it, but he went out to the winger, and in he goes. Joyner was there to cover.
Well, that was a very good try from Steve Rogers. Right across the line. It's the first time we've seen the ball moved across the Australian line, and no doubt about it, when Steve Rogers, what a beautiful pass from Rod Reddy, and Steve Rogers is going for the line. He pushes John Joyner off, and he scored a very good try indeed.
Well, Steve Rogers did well to get into the corner, and a change of kickers. Graham Eady. Steve Rogers the scorer. 18 points to 14. Of 4 points, they're trying a goal, and I believe that about 4 minutes, which including injury time, that is likely to be the figure. Great Britain 18, Australia 14, 2 tries each, and naturally Great Britain not hurrying.
Well, this is a tactic. I don't think McNaughton allowed to get away with this, but you can't blame him for trying, and I think the tactics will be now to put the ball deep in Australian half and tackle it.
Job on their hands to keep out. 18 points to 14. Trying to goal is 5 points. Certainly a lot of pressure now, which must come. The Australian crowd looking happy, rather than pensive. A long one. Steve Rogers got the try. A bit of tiredness possibly by some of the Great Britain players. We're in injury time. Got to hold out for another 2 or 3 minutes. A lot of power coming in, and a very, very fit Australian side is Boyd. Bobby Fulton up and under, but no, a little under, well taken, Stevie down. And a beautiful... Jim, who's he going to talk to? I don't know. What he's talking to is looking towards an Australian, I think possibly to loose forward at Ray Price. Ray Price being spoken to.
Well, I think that Ray thought he got away with it here. He just dropped a little short one in, and he thought Mick Norton missed it, but you can't miss a man with a beard, and rightly so, he brings him out.
George Fairbairn up, all in one bunch. Great Britain now trying to hold and keep what they've got. Score is 18 points to 14. And the referee, Kerry Ousted, being spoken to. That is John Atkinson. In possession, Tony Fisher. And it'll be the 6th tackle to get as much time out of it as they can. Jim Mills. And even the crowd around is saying, "Come on, Jim." Well, they'll be just going forward as much as they can. Lockwood coming on the verse. Cruncher. Paul Rosen, a tackle. It was tremendous. Lockwood pushing it out to Nichols, over 2 minutes of injury time. They scored 18 points to 14, a margin of 5 points, 4 points with a try and a goal, could make it 18-14, and they've made a lot of move up towards the Oxford end. Alex?
Well, this is the place to be when you're playing injury time, and Great Britain surely in such a...
Well, injury time has gone, and that is it. The very, very hard second test for Great Britain equal the series. They win by 18 points to 14.